back to the farm. My name's Roz, also known as Passion Flower, and you'll find me here each week talking about my farming and creative life. Last week I shared with you just how wet it was in our paddocks, and here's an example of how much it's very, very wet. Yeah, that's right, a car bogged on the hill in our paddock. It's not my car, it belongs to one of the owners of one of the horses, and she was trying to drive her car through the paddock with the float on the back because one of the horses appeared to be a little bit lame. So she decided it would be easier to drive the float through the paddock to get the horse on the float rather than try and walk it back to where she was able to take care of it. Didn't end up being quite so easy though. She got halfway up the hill and the horses got spooked that were in front of her. She had to stop, reverse back and got stuck. She had been able to drive that car through the paddock before, but not after the last lot of rain that we had. It was obviously just too wet, especially with the weight of the trailer on the back as well. So to get it out, we had to call a towing company and they came and pulled her out. Unfortunately, none of our farm vehicles were up to doing it at the moment. Our tractor had the slasher on the back, and also the tyres are probably not quite like proper all-weather tyres, and the Hilux doesn't have a tow ball, so we are not able to use that for towing. Although we were able to get the car out, we left the float sitting in the middle of the paddock, and I guess that's going to have to wait until everything gets much drier before it comes back out again. Also happening this week, we have the cubs having a camp out at the farm. So we spent some time getting the campfire area ready, setting up some seats and getting together a whole bunch of extra firewood so that they have firewood close by to be able to pop on for the night of their camp. And while we were doing that, we saw these 4 kangaroos, and we'd been up there with the chainsaw and the Hilux making quite a bit of noise, and they were just standing there looking at us. It actually still amazes me every time I see kangaroos, and I see them quite frequently now, either walking through the bush or from the back deck looking across into the big clearing we have. And I just feel so lucky that I'm able to enjoy them and that we have some really special bushland where they are able to just be in their natural environment. An update on my Alum Rap. I spoke a lot last week about the problems that I had encountered with it. As I said I was going to do, I weighed the dark coloured yarn and knit another lace repeat to see how much more I was able to get out of it. And I figured out that after the one I just knit, I would have been able to do another 2. So nowhere near enough to do the initial number of repeats that I thought was going to be possible. Which I kind of knew anyway, but I just wanted to know how many I'd actually be able to do. So what I've done is I've ripped it back to the point where I had done the 2 repeats of every colour. And I'm now going to do 1 repeat of every colour with a pure imagination in between each. And I actually worked out that the number of lace sections I'm going to be able to do is what is called for in the pattern. So I think that's why I never weighed that skein of yarn, because I just pulled it out knowing that it would do the correct number as the pattern called for. So I'm either a genius or completely fluky, but maybe when I was first looking at it, I had thought that I would do 2 lots of colours and then 1 lot of the colour. I don't know. but I know it's going to look good, and I'm pleased that I've figured it out and that I am going to be able to finish it off and make it look intentional and beautiful. Coming up next week, I'm going away on a short trip, which is really exciting and something I haven't done in quite a while. Part of that is planning some travel knitting. What I've done is I've balled up a skein of my Christmas yarn that I teased you with a few weeks ago. And while I'm traveling, my plan is to knit myself a pair of socks with that yarn, which will be nice memories. And also it will be perfect timing when I come back to be able to photograph that and get it ready for the launch of the colorway. So in a couple of weeks, I will be able to show you that new yarn, both in the skein and also knit up into a pair of socks. Well, that's it for another week. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you're enjoying these videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you next week on the farm. Bye.